Welcome, Atlanta United family, to another episode of Resurge the Spike ATL, presented to you by FILA Sports Podcast. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, here are social media platforms on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify. Go subscribe, share our content out. Uh,
What a
there's
week.
tell me, man, I don't even know where to get started, man. I don't even know where to, like, seriously, I don't even, there's been too much, man. Um, First of all, we had a lot of transfer news. Barco officially getting, announced by River Plate. I mean, that was something that we already saw coming. It was just a matter of, being officially announced. Uh, then
George
it's
Bello. George Bello played his first game as well.
Yeah, that's also another one that we, hadn't discussed since the last show. And Bello, yeah, I mean,
He looked
he's
good. He looked decent for his substitution. I thank God every day for ESPN Plus. There's just so much random soccer on there. So it
yeah,
was
it
cool.
is.
It was cool to check. It was cool. Like everybody was tweeting that he was coming on, so I was able to. I watched the last. I don't know. I think he was in there for like the last 15-ish minutes of what he did, and he looked good. He moved the ball forward. It was good to see. Hopefully, increase that transfer uh, amount for him if he gets sold or next year or whatever. But yeah, he looked good. Um, and then yeah, I didn't get to check out Barco's performance, but I saw that he did come on as a sub. And I think Doug Robertson said he looked okay. Nothing spectacular, but I mean, he just joined the team a couple days ago before he played, so that was good.
Yeah.
Eric
Who else?
Lopez.
Eric Lopez, which he had to go back to Argentina, after that whole situation that was
Did he
going on
come
to
back
where.
though? That's what I wonder. Like, did he really come back to the U.S. just to go right back, or did he threaten to leave and then they started trying to figure it out and then it was good? Like, I wonder if he literally just made the trip back home just to show his, I'm not taking what they were paying him in a different currency, right? And he didn't want to get paid in that currency because it was less than the value of the U.S. coin. I think that's what happened apparently.
I'm not really sure, honestly, with the whole situation. To why I know it's they just weren't able to, sign him in, because of the whole salary situation, and then that's why he had to come back, and then they had all that figured out, and then he ended up going back. I mean, we have somebody here, freestyle. He actually went to Paraguay via
Oh
Insta
boy.
stories. What?
Oh boy. He's here. Okay.
He actually went to Paraguay via Insta stories. I mean, I'm not sure
I mean, he
about
was just
that, man.
playing hardball. I mean, he was just playing
Yeah.
hardball. I mean, obviously he wants to get paid, understandable. Um, it's probably hard to go and leave the US where, the value of the dollars is more, than a lot of other currencies out there. So good for him. That opens up the young uh I don't
U22
even
spot,
under
yeah.
U22 spot. Yeah. So I mean we get that spot open, and that's good. I guess the other transfer news before we get to the big one is Jurgen Damm and what he's gone through. And I did not expect to see the TikTok god go on Twitter and just start being vocal about this. And I think I understand where he's coming from. I mean, he took a contract. Boca overpaid him. I think we all know that. I think that he's insanely paid at this point. But give the guy an opportunity to go somewhere else. Nobody's taking this transfer. Nobody's going to transfer this guy. Nobody's going to take. He wants a salary that he has now to wherever else he goes. We're the only ones dumb enough to pay him for that. So at this point, why don't we just cut him now and give him an opportunity to go join another team? I know people are saying, well, if you sign a contract like that, you get what you get. But like, let's just do good by the player and cut him now and just go spend the money wherever we need to. Like, be good to the player, even though he really didn't do anything good for us on the field. Uh, but that's at least my feeling about Jurgen Damm. But I think there's been like 2 or 3 Twitter posts from him that's being very forward, and it sounds like Gonzalo Pineda has been saying different things, or maybe he's just got loose lips. But I mean, in his presentations or his interviews, he's saying, he's practicing on his own, and then he's saying he's not practicing on his own. Just get rid of the guy. Come on, like just cut the guy. We're gonna pay him. Arthur Bank is paying, that so many players on the Falcons that don't play for the team anymore. Like this is just, nothing. Just get rid of the guy. That's my
Pocket
feeling about
change.
Jurgen Damm. Yeah, exactly. Like let him go. If he really wants to go sign somewhere, I mean, what a lot of players do when they get bought out in other sports is they go take discount deals at other places because they just got this huge payday because they got bought out. So, you know, let him get bought out, and then he goes and maybe signs a friendly deal, somewhere in Mexico, where I think that's where he said he wanted to play. So let him go to Mexico. I really don't see anything else to about that. It's just this is getting old, and obviously now it's becoming a distraction. Now it's becoming public because Jurgen's doing that and Gonzalo's doing that. So you don't want that. You don't want that bad public look. For both teams, for the team and for Dom and his agent. So that's my thoughts. Just get rid of him finally.
I mean, that would be the smartest thing to do, honestly.
Hmm.
But I mean, I don't know, man. Then I don't even know what. I mean, there's been, even rumors, that there was what's it called, like mutual agreement, basically between the coach, player, and the organization, to where they weren't gonna say anything about it. Then here comes Pineda and says something, says, whatever he says about Jurgen Dahl's contract and everything, that he doesn't, belong in the future of
He doesn't
Atlanta.
belong
I
here.
mean, I don't know, man. That's why, I mean, yeah, I see, like, how you say, Jurgen Dahl obviously has his reasons to, obviously defend, basically what they agreed to do for him at the beginning.
I think he
Oh,
froze.
the only
I'm not
person we can
frozen.
blame
He's
this on,
gone.
man, is
So,
Boca. The only
oh,
person
there
we
you
can
go.
blame this is on Boca. That's what I feel like it, man. Free Dom. I mean, Dom ain't. If anything, man, if Dom stays, man, he's gonna be the MVP of the USL. That's that. If anything, I mean,
Maybe he could be. I mean, I don't know. This is uh this is frustrating. But the good news is the assumption is that they're getting rid of Dom. You've got Eric Lopez. You've got 2 positions or 2 spots open right now. With that, I mean, technically, I think 3 spots open now with the Bello transfer. Um, so I think we have 3 roster spots open. So
mm,
I think that frees up some money. It's impossible to figure out salary cap and what money that we have, but that does leave us 3 positions open. So, I know they're probably not going to add anybody right away and bring them to Mexico. But I think that when they get back, they're probably going to take a look, and maybe we just get another veteran. But I think with
yeah,
these open positions that you have, I think that you do need to get some type of someone on wing. And I still think that I know that they've said that Almada and I think they've even at times said Aruju can fill in at backup striker. Um, but I mean, you can get somebody to Jackson Conway's not ready. I finally was able to find an illegal stream to watch a little bit of some of the play of the past couple preseason games. I mean, he looks okay, but what has he done? I mean, he's gotten a couple headers, that have gone in. But other than that, he really hasn't done too much to create for himself. And we can't get into a situation again where if Joseph goes down, the season's over. And right now, I'm not sure if an Almada or a Araujo can go in and be that backup striker that we need. And even though Joseph looks good and he's playing, he's not going to be able to play every single minute. You don't want that. So you're going to need to find somebody. And we want to win U.S. Open Cup. Um, Usually, you don't start all your starters in those games. So I think we need to find someone competent, and maybe we go to the someone on the MLS side. I know there's been talks about the other Martinez possibly coming in. I don't remember where he's coming from, but there's another Martinez that they were talking about bringing in on the transfer. But we got to figure something out here. We got spots now, so let's spend it.
I mean, the big one here. I mean, the big. I mean, the whole Atlanta United like fan base has been like seriously like like rattled up with this last name that was introduced to the club basically what less than 24 hours ago.
Yeah,
uh
it's Jurgen Damm's
Thiago
little brother,
Almada.
right?
I mean,
Oh, that guy. Okay.
this man like seriously has caused so much controversy in like the last 48 hours. And basically like seriously, and from what I see, has divided a fan base uh to the point where like seriously people are talking about quitting going to the games, going supporting a certain supporter group. I mean, we've seen two or three of the supporter groups come out with uh different approaches, and some agree, some disagree. This, like I said, I mean, I really have not seen this. I mean, I've followed football, soccer, for I mean more than 18 years, and I mean, I really have not seen this, like how it's really come down to the point where, I mean, people just, all right, you know, I don't agree with it. Um, I don't know if I don't agree with it, then I'm just gonna have my way. Like, meaning a
It's
lot
an
of these
initial
people don't.
reaction.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. I mean, a lot of these people, like, I feel like just want to have how can we say they want to have their answer justified, and they want to be so right, and want to sound so right, in front of everybody, because they just feel like they're entitled to being basically, like I said, having the right opinion, but they just don't know the facts. I mean, I'm not saying that we do, because we don't. I mean, we really don't. But to what everybody knows, and to what everybody, what in the media has come out to at this certain point and has said, is that, I mean, he was not under investigation, or he was basically, but he was what basically just a suspect, or was not even charged or anything like that. I mean, and I mean, I know, Tommy, you know about this, but like seriously, there was somebody. I mean, everybody on here basically either sees this on a Facebook video or whatever, or either on YouTube. But there was this guy that, like I said, randomly added me this morning, and he ended up like having some pictures with Armada, like like childhood pictures and stuff like that. And I'm over here thinking, I'm like, nah, there's no way. So like he's just like randomly send me the friend request. So I'm over here thinking like, all right, like I'm gonna message him. So I message him, and I'm like, all right, do you like know him or whatever? And he's like, yeah, like we grew up together, we played soccer together and all this. And I asked him about the whole situation, whether, I mean, he was even charged. And he's like, no, like he wasn't charged or anything. I mean, I doubt, or I don't know. Like I said, I can't sit here and justify, what somebody else says for somebody, just because they're their friends or anything. But at the end of the day, you just got to look at the facts. I mean, I really don't see it no other way. I feel like, how you said, some people are just overreacting and getting over their head. I mean,
well, I don't know. I think you gotta my thing, especially like when you deal with things in sports, when you have players, because there's been players all around the league. I mean, Ray Lewis continued to play football after he murdered someone. I mean, allegedly murdered somebody, but he probably murdered somebody. You've got Kareem Hunt, who plays for the Cleveland Browns, who was on video on TMZ like, kicking a woman in a hotel. And those people. I mean, there's been videos like of those situations where people flat out see this. In this situation, though, it's sensitive because it's a sexual assault case that was put on him. And there's been cases of both ways where someone gets off and scot free, and maybe they actually did do it. I mean, it happens consistently. But then you have people that, the Brian Banks story, which is very close to the Atlanta Arthur Blank family, where someone accused him of, sexual assault, and it ruined his career. He was supposed to go to college. It's on Hulu. I think the movie's still on Hulu if you want to check it out. It's really good. But it's the story of Brian Banks. He's a, college or a high school football player, supposed to go to a big college team, gets accused of sexual assault, goes to jail, and he gets out, and he actually is able, the woman, accidentally accidentally gets on tape that she made it all up. And the Falcons actually gave him an opportunity when other teams wouldn't. So he gets out of jail. Obviously he didn't go to college. He missed all his college career, and he played a couple preseason games with the Falcons. And it didn't work out. He wasn't good enough. He was just too far back in his development. And they gave him a job inside the office for a while. And I think now he works for the NFL. Um, so you see that there's both sides. I mean, and really all you can look at right now is that, what MLS did, because MLS is one entity. And you look at what Atlanta United did, it sounds like MLS did their own thing. Atlanta did their own thing. Um, and obviously the courts in Argentina did their thing, and they all came out that that he was there was nothing there for him. So I look at that and say, okay, that's if that's what they looked at, then that's where they're at. um it's it's the court system and how it is, but like I know people wanted him addressing it today. Um,
Yeah.
and legally you can't do that. I had a friend in high school, no longer friends, but he got in some real big trouble. And I followed the case, and the case was it was him and four of his guys friends that all went to high school. And the main person was guilty of something, but the other ones were not. They were not guilty. Well, they ended up not being guilty, but they couldn't talk about it. Nobody could talk about anything until the case was completely done. And I know that the coach was charged, and like he was on the run, and all that crazy stuff. um, but I looking at this, and maybe some of the supporters groups in their statements, I don't think that they cared what news story came out at all. Whether it could have came out that he was that he did have some involvement, but he wasn't charged, or they're like what they said here, where he really wasn't. I mean, he was a person of interest, but they didn't charge him. Blah blah blah. I think they already made their decision before even any of that came up. So you can't tell someone how to feel about it, for sure. But in my personal opinion, is if he was all clear of it, then give him a chance. But I mean, he's definitely on a radar, where I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna keep an eye on you, and if you screw up, it's a red flag, for him, But I don't know. I mean, that's a whole story, and then you go into the whole other story of the celebration that they had, and that one's different. I know that he did the eyes, and slanted his eyes, and uh, no matter what you say, I mean, whether he knew it or not, it sucks, and to what it was. And the team posted it, Velas posted it, so obviously they thought it was fine. The players have done it in the past; they thought it was fine. It's a different part of the country, but it doesn't. Ignorance. You can't always claim ignorance and say that it's okay. It's not okay, and he addressed that today. And and whether the front office told him to do that or not, I mean, it's not okay here. And, hopefully, it's not like he has a history of doing it. It's one time that he did it, right? He doesn't have any other background of doing that before. So, what I want to see just going forward, and he could apologize. I didn't, whether he apologized today or not, he just has to prove it for the future. He's got to be a good person here in Atlanta, and I think that he will have opportunities to prove that. Atlanta's very into the community. So if he comes here and he gets involved in the community and shows that he's growing as a person, then I think it's fine. That he continue that we accept him into the team. But again, if he comes here and he's trouble, then this transfer wasn't worth it. But I mean, really, you just got to give the guy a chance. And I don't think MLS um, and Atlanta United would have made this transfer without having some pretty hard facts about it. And they literally waited till the last minute, right? Like I know they made a partial transfer amount, what, in like December or January or whatever. I think when
They
Bella's
announced
announced
them.
it. Or
Yeah.
Bella's announced it, but Atlanta
Yeah.
didn't do it. I think they transferred them some money and said, "Hey, we want to see this play out." I think that with Arthur Blank, um, and at least what I know about him, and it's not like I know him personally, but I know I've read his biography and how he feels about his players on the team. That I think that if he couldn't be convinced of it, this wasn't going to happen. And I don't know if there's a lot of Falcons fans that are listening to this, but they have a pretty good history of not bringing scummy players into their team. And when someone does get themselves in trouble, Barkevius Mingo was someone last season with the Falcons who did something where he showed his privates to a kid. Um, they cut him like the next day. It wasn't like, okay, let's see what happens here. Let's get the facts. Like it happened on like a Friday. They cut him on Saturday. They don't wait. They don't wait around for it. So I don't know. I do trust Arthur. I think that he's a good owner, and I know that he's very involved in the Atlanta United. He doesn't just put this to the side like a lot of owners do. Focus on their main team. I think that he focuses a lot on Atlanta United, and I trust him. And it could be dumb to
To a
trust him or
certain
not.
to a certain extent, do you feel like he puts a little bit more attention to Atlanta United than he does to the Falcons?
I mean, if you were traumatized by a 28-3 Super Bowl thing, then I would maybe not want to think about it. But he pours his heart into these teams, and the way he runs teams, he does his best to bring in the right people, and he doesn't have a problem. I mean, just look at what he does in the community, just in general, with how he donates, money into the entire city, and in entire groups and entire movements. I think that he's a good guy, and I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt right now because I think really, no matter what me, you, the supporters groups, what anyone on Twitter says, um, none of us know the truth. We could all be wrong. The supporter groups could be right. We could be wrong. And we can't we shouldn't be changing each other's minds here. I just really think that it's up to Amada to really change our minds. In the next probably 2 years, I would assume that he'll probably be here for 2 seasons. Especially if he does as well as we hope he does, he'll probably spend 2 years here and then get out. So we just have to monitor this. This is going to be a day by day thing. And I saw something else that I think Boca said that was interesting in his statement the other day, that they have somebody that kind of like is their chauffeur. Yeah, speaking French now, chauffeur.
Chauffeur.
For the player to help them get accustomed into the team. And I saw people going, "Oh, Amada needs a babysitter." What they actually said is they started this a few years ago with academy players specifically that just got contracts, and they weren't used to the pro life. So there are these guys going around helping them out, making sure that they were getting accustomed to being on a professional team. And then they said they started doing it with people that were transferred outside of the country, right? So, I don't know when this started, but just think about maybe that could have helped an Andrew Carlton. It maybe could have helped a Pity Martinez. Remember, Pity Martinez had a real hard time getting accustomed to the United States life. So maybe this is helping, and maybe they're just finally talking about it now. Maybe Moreno had that. Maybe an Arujo had this guy last year as well with it. So but they made it public, and I'm kind of glad they did because I think that I know there's the one guy on Twitter that actually that lives there, lives close to the area. So he was kind of like leaking all the not leaking, but just telling like what he knows about the news about the Almada story. But I think he brought up a good point. Like it just sounds like it's a kid hanging out with shitty people. And if you surround yourself with terrible people, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. And I think we all have those friends in life that you know at some point in our lives that when you hang out with them, stuff goes down.
Yeah.
But when you hang out with your normal friends, stuff doesn't go down. You just hang out and have a beer and just relax. So I don't know. I've been talking for the last 5 minutes. So I'll shut up now. But I think that it's I'm just following everyone on Twitter, and I stopped arguing or stopped having conversations because most people don't really want to have a conversation about it. They have their ideas of what they're going to do and or what they're going to think, and me and you can't change this. If they listen to this, it's not going to change their minds. Uh, Almada is going to be the only one that's going to be able to really change people's perceptions. Maybe some goals will help, but mostly it's just going to be his attitude and what they do in the community. If he's smart, he's going to start doing community stuff. So I hope that he does.
Yeah, it honestly, like, to the point to how severe I see it, like, seriously, to where even supporter groups come out and say something about it. Like, it surprises me, honestly. And it's not like I'm worried or anything, but, like, I feel like he's got that bit more extra pressure because of the fact that all the outside of the field, stuff that has happened, but, well, technically in the field with the celebration that he did, and outside the field with the whole case. But I mean, if you look at it, I mean, he's got a lot of pressure, like, seriously. Um, I don't know if you saw the interview that he had today. I mean, he said that, he's gonna deal with the pressure well and everything, that he knows that he's a young player that's coming in here, basically, like I said, with a lot of expectations, and you feel like, he was sincere. I mean, I feel like he was trying to, like, obviously he's not gonna say, yeah, I feel the way and everything, but obviously, he just played it right. I mean, well, obviously, like you say, he just, with time, we're just gonna see eventually how that plays out. But I think that, like you said, we're just gonna have to wait. Uh, I think that he will eventually, throughout this season, we're gonna find out. I feel like, it's not like he's gonna get accustomed to the style of play or how MLS, is. It's gonna take some time. Now, if it happens right away, I mean, I mean, it's more than welcome, but I don't think that it's gonna be like right away. Like I said, especially with all the stuff that's been going on. I've been even like seeing stuff about like people booing him, like, the first,
Yeah,
like, I mean,
you're gonna see it. You're probably gonna see it early on. I mean, like I live here in Cleveland, and the Cream Hunt thing. He was guilty. He kicked the girl, right? The Kansas City Chiefs cut him. The Browns bring him on. There was a lot of kickback, the first, couple months. He goes on the field. He does well. He doesn't get himself in any trouble. And did a lot of interviews and things like that. And the fans eventually, changed their mind on him. Um, so I mean, obviously, him being on the field will probably help. Hopefully, he can win some people over with his play. But you might just have people that never like a guy. And I think that we've all, have liked a team at some point, and we just hate one of the guys on the team for whatever reason. And if they can't change their mind on it, they're not going to, and that's more than fine. But you know, I I think that we shouldn't attack those people, and they shouldn't attack us for giving him a shot. Um, and you know, I don't think there's really a battle of who wins. It's just, I mean, really, it's Almada's life, right? I mean, that's really what it's up to here. It's his life, and uh, you know, making a jump, maturity. I mean, look at the teams that were looking for him prior to coming here, right? Manchester United, Manchester City, like those are big teams that were looking for him. And at that point in time, it didn't. There was so many unknowns that were going on about the situation, so they backed off. Atlanta United kept looking. It seemed like it was getting better. They started looking into it. Put a exclusive rights offer in, and maybe this was the lottery ticket that they needed. Nobody gives him a chance, and they come in, give him a chance. He becomes a model citizen, and they start winning. So
Something that we haven't talked about is the date of the away kit launch.
Saturday, right?
If I'm not mistaken, honestly, I actually was trying to look like when that was.
I'm pretty sure it's this weekend because I
February
see somebody.
19th.
Oh, 19th.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's next
so next
weekend.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's
that's at
exciting.
Piedmont Park, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, it's supposed to be a big event, I mean,
Will the
weekend
players be
event.
back by then?
They should
I
be.
would. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't
Wait.
sure if they're.
We
Yeah, that
said
makes
wait,
sense.
what date did I say? Wait.
The 19th, which is next Saturday. That makes sense. Yeah, you're right
Wait,
because
don't they
I
have
was
a
thinking about
friendly the
buying the away.
20 don't they have a friendly the 20th against Birmingham?
I think
I
so.
think
Yeah, so I think they're coming home after this preseason game this weekend.
mm,
They have a game. They have a game, and then I think they're coming back. Which is also brings up the question that came up today: is will Amato be ready for the season opener? And there's a good possibility he won't be able to due to visa issues. He hasn't started the
mm,
visa process really and he can't do that till he gets home. So I imagine they're probably home on Monday, and he probably starts the visa process on Tuesday. So it'll probably come down to it. But we'll see how many practices he gets under his belt. Hopefully he's going to be able to at least be a sub in that game
yeah, that's what
against
I feel
Sporting
like.
Kansas
Well,
City.
yeah.
Uh, But I mean, a couple other things we haven't really discussed is, it seems like Hyman's practicing with the team. He's being fully
Yeah.
integrated with the team. I saw Morini, was actually played in the midfield where he scored his goal, which was interesting to me. Um, but he can't be a consistent midfielder because we don't have any backup wingers. We don't have that, so he's going to have to play wing. A lot. Through this season, unless we start picking people up here quickly. Um, but yeah, I mean it's good to see the team. I watched some of that game on Saturday or Sunday, um, and they looked okay. Um, I think Alan Franco missed the game because he had COVID or he was a close contact to COVID, I think was the understanding because he was with the team like a couple days later. So he might have had a test that was questionable. So it's good to finally see these guys playing some games, and hopefully we stay healthy. Brooks Lennon is practicing with the team again, so that seems like a good thing that he'll be ready for opening day. Uh, yeah, I mean we're running out of info, but while we've been talking, I've been drinking out of this MLS Championship Cup, and I was just my ADD mind was looking through the names. Miles Robinson, Joseph Martinez, and Brad Guzan are the only ones left on this cup. That's
Yeah.
it.
And I mean,
It's kind
it
of
hasn't.
depressing.
It's been 3 years, 3 years and 2 months, and yet
There's
again,
some crazy mess
it's.
ups on this cup too. I don't know if you have this cup. Just random
I
thoughts
don't.
now.
I
Julian
don't.
Gressel, they don't have his number on it. Every player's number's on except Gressel's. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. His number's on there. And then also Can is just Can.
Wow. Does it
It
have
just
his
says
first
Can.
name?
No, so that's why I've been calling him Can since I got this cup. But just thought that was just a real random thought. Try to lighten the mood here.
Oh man, there's definitely, I feel like there's gonna be a lot more, to talk about definitely in like these, what, 2 weeks that we have until opening, um the opening game for the season. Uh it's
There
definitely
has to
gonna
be
be,
transfers. There has to be additions. I think at this point,
yeah.
there has to be at least one guy. And, I
Um
don't think that they would like to have the young the youth initiative player, spot open for the summer. I think that that's not their plan. Um, but I think that there's a very good chance that, we fill that window or we fill that spot or we at least take some of that money of Jurgen Dahms and bring it in. But this team's deep. Like, you look at this team right now, the midfield is very deep. Our center backs are decently, deep. Our wings, I know we got rid of Bello, but we have Ronald Hernandez now who can play both sides, for Lennon and,
Gutman's been pretty solid,
Bootman.
honestly, in these friendlies. I mean, seriously, he's got a lot of personality. He's honestly impressed me. I mean, seriously, I mean, he's been, I mean, I don't want to say he's better than Bello. Uh, Obviously,
I think
only
he's
time
better
will
than Bello.
tell. Yeah,
He's better
that
than
I
Bello.
mean, this, I don't want to judge it, or I don't want to say, yeah, he's better than him. I mean, only what he does in the field with Atlanta, and how he adjusts to the system is gonna, tell. But at the end of the day, what I saw the other day, man, I mean, he was solid, man. He's a solid fullback.
I see
Both
Bruno's
position.
asking what position would you like to bring? I think wing. I think Moreno. I mean, they said Moreno and Almada can play the wing and they can play in midfield. But I haven't seen Almada play, so I don't know if he can actually play wing very well. But Moreno, I don't think plays wing
I mean, he said that
position very
today
well.
in his interview. I mean, they asked him like, "What's his favorite position or whatever," and he said that his favorite position on Mata is basically to play behind the nine, behind the striker. As a number 10. He's also like a creative midfielder, number 8. He said he's able to play on the wings. I mean, I don't know how well both wings. If he's able to, if he's ambidextrous or able to cross with well enough with both feet. But I mean,
Aruju
we'll
can, I
see.
think.
We'll
I
see.
think
Yeah.
Aruju can. But again, it's late in the games. You're down. You need someone to come in, and you started all your DPs. You started Moreno. Who's coming in? Jake Mulroney. That's it. That's the only person that you have that's going to be able to come into the game.
Yeah.
That's going to be able to. I mean, Jackson Conway, but again, he's backup striker. He's not going to be able to come in, as a wing.
That's another position too, a backup striker. Don't you think that that's another position that Atlanta like kind of needs to focus on?
I mean, I every time this comes up when in another chat that I'm in, I said, get someone that can play wing so he can, possibly start some games. Not Jurgen Damm. Oh, Chol. Someone mentioned Chol. I mean, yeah, I like Chol. I think that we need someone with more experience if we're trying to win MLS Cup, that could come in. But um, I think that you should get someone experienced. And the guy that keeps coming up is Tito Villalba. Tito was able to play the wings. He was able to not Breck Shea, also could play striker and could play wing, and it was perfect. I mean, a lot of games he started at wing, and then when Joseph got hurt in that first season, he came in and played striker and did pretty good, right? So I mean, again, a player Tito Villalba ish would be something ideal. Um, so yeah, I think that we need to get someone up front, definitely, to be able to come in here that possibly can have that dual positioning, on the offensive side. I think that that's really what we need to get, going forward because, one of these guys get hurt, you're kind of hurting right now. I like Joel, I like Moraney. But then, you bring one of them in when someone's hurt, and then who's going to back them up? Who's going to come in late in those games when you're down a goal? Who's going to come in and make that play? We need somebody. So it's going to be. I think that's who we bring in. Maybe we bring in a veteran. I haven't looked at the MLS free agents, but usually this is around the time of the year where some of those guys start getting swept up by some teams here. And we've already got our one vet with Alonso. So I think one more, at least a guy with maybe some scoring touch, might be able to come in. But again, I don't know if anyone's there for that position.
Yeah. I mean, we got free side, self side, whatever. It says to be fair, Mulroney will start in most of MLS teams. I think. I mean, yeah. I mean, Mulroney's got like great ability on the ball. Honestly, it's just he hasn't have that consistency, honestly, with the team. But yeah, I mean, so what I've seen, I mean, he's quick on the ball. I mean, he's got good pace. Good vision. Uh, I don't know so much about the goal scoring, when it comes to, putting the ball in the back of the net. But I mean, when it comes to creating chances, I know that he's, good. He played great as attacking midfielder, Bruno. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
but we have enough of those, Bruno. Like when Hyman comes back, you're not going to you don't really need that position. I think Hyman's going to be that guy that's going to really force himself into lineups a
yeah,
lot of weeks.
I see him coming honestly, like more like offensively than other midfielders like Rossetto or Sosa. I feel like Hyndman out of all those like I want to say defensive midfielders or slash midfielders, like out of all those guys, Hyndman's the one to get like more in front of the in attacking positions basically.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, we're getting there, right? We're 2 weeks. We're gonna meet up in 2 weeks. We've never met each other, and we're both
Yeah.
going to the home. I'm flying in for the game, so that's gonna be exciting. And
It
yeah,
should it
it's
should be a, it
we're getting
should be a
close.
fun game, man. Honestly, like it really should be a good game. Honestly, I feel like, um, oh, I haven't even speak about this. Tommy, you know about this, but next week, February 15th at 8:30 ish, I believe. We're gonna have some guests coming in from a podcast in Kansas called No Pod, No Other Pod, I believe. Yeah, No Other Pod. Couple guys they're gonna be joining us. Like I said, they're gonna be basically chatting with us about basically the expected lineups, what the expectations are for the teams and everything. We're just trying to have, like we said earlier, just trying to have a little bit more people on here and try to have different opinions and stuff. Um, Twitter user
I don't even know what that means
Kyle
at this
Dominus
point.
is also available. Yeah, I don't know, but
Maybe
like we
people are
said,
drinking
guys.
whiskey like I am right now, and they're just being all over the place.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I mean, we appreciate you guys listening to us. I think it's probably the most people we've had listen in a while, at least live
yeah,
in the chat. Our goal for this
yeah,
year is
consistently, yeah.
yeah, I mean, our goal this season is to keep doing these and having some chats, and then hopefully do some Twitter Spaces maybe before games, talk about the lineups, and
Mirrorball pod soon.
am I too old to understand? Announce Amada. God dang it. Amada's here. He's here.
Hey,
A
start
lot of
saying
people don't
announce
like it.
Messi.
Some like it.
Maybe in a couple of years, man, that may come true. Since Atlanta United may be famous, man. Maybe it'll bring some attention to them to just sign like a big star or something, man. Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be nice? Wouldn't that be something like neat for real for Atlanta to say like we had like a big name? Like I'm talking about like a global star name. Like how I mean, I don't know if you ever like, or I kind of like grew up like, watching on like MLS basically like first started, and like honestly when it first started, like for me is when like Beckham came, and that was like the first star that like seriously just like broke the scene in MLS, and it just like it was crazy, man. Wherever this man went, it was just like sold out everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
It
I
would be
mean,
nice.
I saw someone said once if Ronaldo came here. I don't think Ronaldo's allowed in the United States. I'm pretty
He's
sure he's not
not, man.
allowed in. No,
He's
he's not allowed
not.
in the United States. Someone mentioned me, they're like, "Oh man, I hope they come do like a friendly tour in the U.S." I said, "Well, Ronaldo's not coming
Yeah.
anywhere near around the U.S. right now." Um,
And I
but
don't
yeah, I
even
mean,
think
it
that's
should.
gonna change, but
Uh,
Joseph is clear. Okay. Pipeline.
well, everybody's now just throwing
Yeah.
their dream people into here. Let's
Johnny
let's get
Alves would be
Pogba.
a
Let's get
dream.
Pogba. Let's get
Yeah,
crazy
man.
Pogba.
Hey, he's already been like,
Wearing our jersey, yeah.
yeah. Honestly, like seriously, I feel like he's one of those players where like if he
He's a nutcase.
actually, yeah. Yeah, that too. But like, I feel like he's got the qualities to if like whenever he wants to, like he just. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like in Juventus, he was a good player, but yeah, in United, he really hasn't lived up to the hype.
He can be good when he wants as a
Yeah,
Manchester United
there's
fan. It's
really been a
rough
lot
to
of
watch him.
players. There's been a lot of players, like that. But like I said, like when it comes to like big name stars, like I mean, like a Neymar, or Ronaldo, Messi. I mean, but these other two are young Holland, Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Ansu Fati. I mean, all these young stars. But I mean, like I said, me in Atlanta at some point, I feel like is gonna. I feel like they don't want to make it seem like it's like a veteran league, like. But yet again, I mean, you see all these stars coming into the league. Not obviously, in their prime, but I mean, Douglas Costa, yeah, Douglas Costa, getting announced to LA Galaxy.
Was he 30? I think I looked it up. I think he's 30.
Yeah, he's not past 31 though, 32 or so. Then we have the other one, certain Shakiri, get
He's
announced
30.
for,
He's 30.
yeah.
And then you got the Italian. The Italians are coming
Yeah,
to Toronto.
Insigne, Lorenzo
Yeah, I'm
Insigne.
excited for him. Yeah, I'm real excited to see what he can do in this league. I mean, it's becoming, this league is growing, and my buddy, we kind of made a pact. Like, I root for Atlanta United, he roots for Atlanta, United. He roots for Manchester United, I root for Manchester United. But like we were talking yesterday, and he just started watching MLS 2 seasons ago. And I remember when we first started watching it, he's like, "This league sucks. Like the quality of the players are just terrible." And look where we are. Look where we are 2 years later. I mean, yeah, I mean Atlanta United had some good teams, and there were a couple of their teams that had some good rosters, but like the
This
spending
last
is going
transfer
around.
window, the last transfer window, I feel like has like really like been not crucial, but I feel like if these players are able to like come in here and perform like a Thiago Almada, he's a young player. Um, who's the other one that Orlando signed another one, Facundo, I think is his last name. There's been a lot of like other like young like talented players that have been signed to the league, and if they're able to live up to that expectation, and even the so-called veterans are able to come in here and basically have good seasons, they're able to perform well. I mean, we even saw that with Slauson. I mean, the man came in here, he didn't win a championship or anything, but I mean, he still had pretty good numbers with LA Galaxy. Was able to go back to a elite team in Europe, and I mean, the
Yeah,
guy is 37, 38 years old at the time. So I mean, we've really got to stop, or I'm not saying we, but like, overall, as people, we've got to stop judging, MLS as, this league that's inferior, because at the end of the day, yeah, it may be, or it may have been at some point, but I mean, this league is growing like seriously a lot. I mean, like I'm telling you, I mean, I remember when I first started watching it, I mean, it's crazy. It's really like how much it's grown. I mean, from the teams, the fan bases, the expansion, like, when it comes to like the games being televised on, national television, everything, like, it's just changed the game a lot. We don't even know if baseball is going to be around, so soccer is going to, I don't know if it's what people are going to end up turning, their TVs to, but I mean, hey,
They should.
yeah, they should, man. Honestly, man, like soccer is like that's what, man. I just can't, man. Like seriously, when it comes to like soccer, like there's just so much of it. Like every single day there's a game, whether it's Premier League, whether it's Bundesliga. Now we have Champion Leagues coming up. MLS is about to start. We have all the South American leagues. I mean, Copa Libertadores. I mean, there's so much, like literally 24/7, and we have the World Cup coming, everything, like when it comes to soccer, there's just so much, and I feel like a lot of people would like just take it like it's not fun, or they just it's a matter of like just I
Yeah,
don't know
I get
if
it.
I don't know how to put it in the right words, but yeah, man, like people just need to embrace it, honestly, man. Like I don't know why they shame soccer so much.
Yeah, well, I think we're getting there.
Yeah. Hopefully, man. Hey, once 2026 hopefully comes around and the World Cup's here, hopefully people get a different perception of it.
For sure.
Yeah,
All
man.
right. Well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
tell
catch
me.
up on Peacemaker now for the
Yeah, we
night.
already been here for a while, so and yeah, we already got basically through everything that we had to say, and like we said, next week the 15th, we're gonna be on with these guys from Kansas, so stay tuned. For the link, and we'll be sharing that out. And thank you, Tommy. Hopefully, man, the 27th can't get here soon enough. Trust me.
Yeah. Be good people on Twitter, everyone. Don't.
Yeah, man. Like, just be nice to everybody, man. Don't be over here shaming people. Just be nice, man. Take a deep breath and just relax, man. But all right, you guys. Thank you. Have a good evening, and we'll see you next week, hopefully. All right,
See you
Tommy.
guys.
All right, man.